Stereotyping happens all the time. It's a common thing, and it's because it's so easy to stereotype someone. When you first meet someone, all it takes is one misconception of who they are, what they do, based loosely on your first meetings with them, how they dress, how they act. And more often than not, this is wrong.
I was stereotyped before when, like, I was walking through this park here. I got pulled over for no reason. They just jumped on me, said I fitted the description of a car theft, and it had nothing to do with me. I wasn't nowhere near the area. But yeah, they let me go in the end, didn't say sorry, anything, just, you know, proper treated me bad and everything. Got grass stains all over my brand new tracksuit. I swear, bad times.
I was stereotyped before, like on the bus. Like I'll just be sitting in the back of the bus, I'm just minding my business, I'm just trying to get to college and stuff. And like you can see the way people look at you when they're like coming towards the back of the bus, they'll be wary of to sit near you and stuff like that. That doesn't make you feel too good, because it's obviously because of how I'm probably dressed or how I'm looking, they're just assuming that I'm a bad person.
I've been stereotyped before when there's some shops up by where I live, and some people like hang around there sometimes, and just because like I stop and like to like talk to them, or just because I know the group of lads, and that like sometimes people think that I'm involved in them, and like just because what they've been doing, like I get like dragged into it sometimes, and sometimes like you get looks off people, and like, you know, police come over and start to talk to you, and that when really I'm only there for like 10 minutes and then I'm off, and that like, so sometimes it's a bit annoying, and that for like people just stereotyping you even, you know, before they know you, and that like.
And the problem is, stereotyping someone can lead to negative feelings between people, and it's only made worse when age comes into question. With a big generation gap, stereotyping puts a barrier between old and young people, but this doesn't have to be the case. All it takes is a little bit of knowledge from both generations and a little bit of effort, and the stereotyping barriers can be erased.
I think if an older person's got some sort of social awareness on what's around them, and they don't like, because a lot of people get their ideas from like media hype, they'll see on the news, gang of youths, a tax run, or all of them must be like that. But if you've got some sort of social awareness and you probably work with youths on a regular basis, then you'll probably be aware. So I think it depends on what type of people are involved.
Depends on the person, innit?
Yeah.
The older generation have a lot to give us, I guess, you know, like experience-wise, but because of you know, certain young people have created this stereotype, that we can't benefit from their knowledge because they don't feel they're comfortable enough to give it to us. You know, we can't really share experiences.
I think it's the media. I think it's a lot of it, like big part of it's just the media. People hear stuff on the news and they think every youth's like that, or you know, every teenager's like that.
There's always been a gap between young and old anyway. It's just the way you're brought up.
Looking for something to do, aren't they? Causing trouble, some of them.
I think the majority of young people are absolutely fantastic. It's just the minority of some young people sort of drag everybody else down.
Thinking of themselves and nobody else. We all got to live together, sort of thing, but you know, don't care about me, they don't care about you.
The motive behind this project is really to kind of bridge that gap between the generations that exist. It's like making a step across the bridge to the other side to really reach out to the other generation from the young people's perspective. I think art and music are probably one of the best ways of reaching out. It's such a powerful and universal tool. Everybody's aware of art and music, and everybody takes something different from art and music. And I think if you're really truly going to reach out to someone, it's best to be done in the language that everybody speaks. Because everybody can understand music and art, even if it is different to others. Old people are aware of music and art, and they enjoy it just as much as young people do. It's the one bit of common ground we have that will be the key to bridging this gap.
I think there are so many more pressures on young people. One is employment. When I left school, basically I got a job. If I didn't like it, I packed it in, I got another job. It was as simple as that.
They used to have lots of youth clubs and things when I was a kid. I used to go every night to the hall to different things, you know. They don't seem to have much thing, you know, for them to do.
I don't really take any notice of stereotyping, to be absolutely honest.
So everyone can relate to art and everyone can relate to music. And it's just a way of life.
It's like a universal language, you know. Everybody can.
Best way to get a message out.
They have their stories and we have ours too.
I think people just need to have an open mind because a lot of it's not only the older generation. A lot of the kids our age are just narrow-minded.
Because what they don't know, they can't think it's right. Not if you're 18 or 85.
It's like we're trapped in the dark because of what the youth have done in the past. Too many kids try and go on hard. That's why the old way of are scared to come out the yard. The front yard, you get a place where you get mates that are snakes. It doesn't mean that
and we plan to make art that will capture what it is that we feel stereotyped about, how we feel stereotyped, and just show it to the older generation so they can see. Stereotypes are not something that just affects the old and young generation, as we've highlighted. It affects everybody. And as simple as it is to make a stereotype and judge someone, it's just as simple to get rid of that stereotype just by taking the time to get to know that person. I hope that this project has gone well enough to inspire other people, not just us who have done the project, but others who may see it, and for them to follow in our example of just making that little bit of effort, that first step, that handout to the other generation, just to better get knowledge of the way they live, who they are, how they act and how they feel. That understanding, I think, is key, and we hope this project inspires others to follow and take that understanding.